The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, traditional language learning methods have long relied on static curricula and rote memorization, often leave learners, disengaged and struggling to adapt to diverse needs and learning styles. And despite the growing availability of digital tools, many solutions fail to address the importance of context and personalization in acquiring a new language, making the process feel tedious and disconnected from real-life experiences. Now, this is where Lingosnap steps in. An innovative language learning app powered by cutting-edge generative AI, Lingosnap transforms the way people learn languages by integrating technology with everyday moments. And to share more about how Lingosnap is closing the gap in language education and revolutionizing the learning process, joining me today is Francis, who is the CTO of Lalia Private Limited. Hi, Francis. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Francis, Lingosnap was created to address specific challenges in traditional language education, from disengagement to lack of personalization. What gap in the language learning market have you identified? Could you share examples that, illustrate how traditional methods fail to meet diverse learner needs?
Yeah, so traditionally in the classroom setting, they have a constraint, right, where they need to face an entire class with different needs and different paces, right? So a textbook is usually used with a fixed curriculum, and learners are each very different, each with different motivations, different interests and learning styles. So in particular, the course curriculum might be dry, and the learners might lose motivation simply because they don't feel like it's relevant for them.
So let's find out more about how Lingosnap works. So, walk us through how the app works, especially its unique ability to teach language through photos. And why did you decide to use photos as an instrument to one's learning?
Yeah, so the learner first captures an image, and the AI identifies what's in the image in the scene. And we then translate this words into the target language, so for example Japanese, Mandarin, and we use these to further then create example sentences that allow the learners to basically use the language in that context. And we have color mappings. So the example sentences, there are different segments of the sentences that are mapped between the native language and the target language, and this allows the learner to make the association between the two sentences.
Okay, sounds very interesting. I mean, your app also color codes sentences to teach grammar and sentence structure. Why was this feature an essential part of your design, and how does it make learning more effective?
Yeah, so unlike English, many languages don't have spaces to delimit where a vocabulary or a part of speech is,
true.
right? For example, Mandarin or Japanese or Thai. Hence, we use these colors to help the learners identify where the words are, where the vocabularies are, and this helps them to recognize the terms in the context.
I see. Especially if you're a visual learner, right? This will really help. I mean, it seems like personalization is also central to your approach here. How does your app integrate this feature to individual learners' interests and preferences?
Yeah, so as the learner uses the application, they collect vocabularies as they take more pictures, and all of these vocabularies gets accumulated into what we call the learning album. Right? And this will be used to then generate the learning activities. So everything that they use to learn will be based off their photos and their memories.
Okay. And beyond personalization, your app also integrates everyday experiences into the learning process. So how do you balance, creating a structured learning path with the spontaneity of, user-driven content such as photos or personal objects?
So this was definitely a struggle for us because we want to balance between a structured curriculum, that's something that is related to them, and we design it as a sandbox tool that allows learners to explore the language in a real way.
Right.
It's by no means a way to replace a formal curriculum, but we're looking for a way to better track the learner's progress even in this sandbox environment.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I try to learn a new language, one big problem I have is to continue learning the language. I think this is a problem with a lot of people as well. The motivation is sometimes not there, and it can be frustrating when, you can't really get it and then you kind of lose interest. So how does Lingosnap use AI to kind of maintain user motivation and ensure that they remain engaged throughout the process?
Yeah, so first, the content on the platform is curated for the learner using AI.
Okay.
Like I mentioned earlier, we generate the example sentences that are exactly matching the context that the user is currently facing. This wasn't available in the past few years. Only in recent years were we able to do this on the fly in real time. to ensure that it is especially relevant in that moment for the learner.
Okay, and we've read that you've mentioned previously the importance of context in language learning. Why do you think this aspect was overlooked by traditional tools, and why is it crucial for learner success?
Again, I think you mentioned it earlier about motivation, right? When the learner doesn't use the language in context, then they might be confused as to why they are using this in the first place, right?
Yeah.
We want to make it more relevant for the learner. And in particular, we're trying to connect the photos and the memories to the learning experience, and thereby using the photos as like a nucleus to allow the learning concepts to stick onto it.
So is this all, because you leverage sophisticated generative AI to enhance your app's experience? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so honestly, we don't do anything too complicated, right? All of the technologies are out there, but we definitely leverage the latest Gen AI technologies to deliver a personalized experience for the learners. Yeah, this comes in the shape of, like I said earlier, the example sentences. We are also looking into designing a conversational aid to allow students to discuss what is in the photo, what's in the scene. And this will allow them to practice as if they were having a virtual tutor, right?
I see. Having a virtual tutor. And it looks like you have plans to introduce speaking practice with native-like pronunciation. How does generative AI contribute to developing this feature?
So with Gen AI, I'm not sure if you have heard the latest likes of Pi. Pi, it's like an AI voice. And it's really scarily realistic how with all of the data that's available, they're able to create such a lifelike AI voice, right? And we believe that now is really the time that we can leverage these technologies to allow students to listen to the AI voice, right, and use that as a means for them to practice their pronunciation.
Does this mean we could also see, how different countries, such as, for example, Korea, where you have the Seoul accent and you have the countryside accent. So could you learn those accents as well through the app?
Our current application, it doesn't support that.
But eventually, would you have plans to do that as well?
We could, yeah. No, I can't commit to anything now.
Okay. I'm just throwing you ideas there. Anyways, Lingosnap is continuously evolving to add new features and expand its impact in language education. But beyond the app, do you see Lingosnap evolving into other formats or platforms to reach a wider audience? And do you plan to create versions of Lingosnap, tailored for schools, businesses, or other specific user groups?
Yeah, so in particular, we're trying to see how we can capture the student notes. So written notes. So we can take a picture of the notes and identify where the learner is at based on the vocabulary and the grammar structures that are used in the notes. So this will give us a better idea of how the student is progressing in the curriculum, and then we can recommend the activities that are at their level.
So, Francis, I have a personal question for you. How often have you used Lingosnap? Have you learned any new languages?
I've been using Lingosnap to learn Japanese vocabularies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So are you fluent at this point?
No, surely not fluent.
All right. Well, you get there because you believe in Lingosnap. So before we let you go here, what else is in store for Lingosnap in the future? What else can we look forward to?
Yeah, like I mentioned, you can expect to have improved progress tracking on the application and also a chatbot that allows the students to practice conversationally.
Well, thank you so much, Francis, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Francis, who's the CTO of Lalia Private Limited. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.